There we are, Roman Pages. It's Josh Henson coming to you guys with another video, and I'm super stoked because we are on a new series, and this series is I Had to Lose You to Win for Myself. Y'all, the first episode was crazy, but before we start, let's start that intro. Welcome back. Thank you. Listen, thank you guys for supporting me, always uplifting me, encouraging me. I'm just thankful. I'm thankful to be back and talking with you guys. Listen, if you guys know, we are on a new series. I had to lose you to win for myself. I had to lose you to win for myself. I had to lose you to win for myself. Listen, if you haven't seen episode 1, go check episode 1 out. Episode 1 was insane. I wasn't even able to stop it without leaving the state I was in. You guys know I got really emotional in that episode, just because this series has been emotional for me. It's had a lot of things. It has showed me a lot of things that stopped me from doing what God needs me to do, because I still allow these connectors, and we're going to talk about what connectors are. These connectors on my life. If you guys know, I use the word connector a lot. So if you haven't seen episode 1, go check it out. And if you did, thank you very much. I thank you for supporting and stuff like that. But we are on episode 2 for I Had to Lose You to Win for Myself. So as I was digging deeper into this series, you guys, God has revealed a slash slogan type thing that goes with this series. And for episode 2, it was I had to lose you to win for myself / my connector will change my destiny into death. And so again, if you guys know me, you know what I mean by connector. Your connector is that very thing that stops you from succeeding in life, stop you from growing, stopping you from elevating to what God needs you to be. So it can be anxiety, it can be depression, identity loss, it can be robbery, it can be you could be cheating on your spouse. It can be idolizing different other things, but God. It can be a various of things. It can be anorexia. It can be it can be obesity. It can be so many things. Lack of faith. Confusion. It could be so many connectors. It's so many connectors out there that stops us from walking into the eyes of God, and it reroutes us on a different path, which stops us from succeeding from our destiny and stopping us on life in our walk with God. And so when I heard him say that your connector would change your destiny into death, I was blown away, because when you think of death, you think of not walking on this earth. You think of not living. You think of not being able to see your family, not being able to be around your friends, and all these different things. You're no longer alive. But when he said death, he was speaking death and stopping. Death means stopping, no longer active, no longer alive. There's no life that lives in this thing anymore. And so as that thing was being revealed to me, there's connectors that causes you to die. And when I mean by that, it's stopping you from living in the eyes of God and walking out your plan. God's word says, it says, for I know the plans I have for you. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope in a future. And so there's already been a declaration on our lives that there is big plans that I've had over your life. I already have set you for greatness, and I set you for a big future. But because these connectors that's attached to our life, we're not able to see this future. We're not able to see the big plans and the blessings that God has for us, because these connectors is causing our future to die and causing us to die. So this depression, for instance, I'm gonna use me as an example. As you guys know, my testimony, I've dealt with depression very bad. I dealt with identity loss. I dealt with anxiety, stress. I dealt with anger. Those things were my connectors. Those things were stopping me from where God needed me to be. And so what happens is with those connectors, not only does it change your purpose and it change your destiny, but it also change who you are physically. And what I mean by physically is that I did not look like Josh. I did not look like who God has called me to be. I did not look like who he has created me to be, because I have allowed outside things, worldly things, to corrupt his creation. You know, and so why would you walk into the future I have for you when you're not even looking like yourself? Because this connector that is connected to your life is changing you inside and out. And physically, you no longer look like the creation that I have created, because that is not what I have created. I did not create you to be connected to these connectors, but because we live in a society that drains and it tanks our future and our destiny, because they want us to live a certain way because of what they have placed out there, you start to change who you are. And not only changing who you are as in changing, you know, how the way you dress, but it changes your mental, it changes the way you speak, it changes your aroma that you leave around people. You know, you are stuck with a certain stench that is not pleasing to God. And so these connectors literally change your aroma. It changes who you are. It changes your mental state. I remember being around people and people would say, you know, you're just so angry, or my reactions, the way that I talk, my delivery, nothing came out pleasant, because I was no longer under the creation of what God has created. And so because of these connectors, these connectors literally changes who you are. And we get afraid of leaving what these connectors brought to our lives, because we become content and we become comfortable to these connectors. I know for me, I want to walk out in my destiny. I want to reach what God has for me. And if you guys see my last episode, I said, whatever it takes for me to get to where God needs me to be, I will risk it all. And we get so afraid of that phrase, because it's like, risk it all. Do I really want to go through the bullying? Do I really want to go through the name slaughter? Do I really want to go through that broken season that I spoke about in episode 1? Do I really want to experience not having anyone naturally? But like God said, but you have me. Spirit, I am here. I am your present help. You know, and so what we do is we lean on our own understanding, because we think that's what's best for us, because we are comfortable and we are pleasing our flesh. But when we lean on God's understanding and we lean on what he needs us to do, we get afraid, because that's not what we want to do. And that's because we have allowed our connector to become our creator. And so, my God, we allow our connector to become our creator, and God is no longer our creator, because what he has created, he do not see, because we are dwelling in that connector. And so we get stuck. We get stuck when we want to change our life around for the better, because we know that there's more. And you know when you want more, and you know when there's better for you, because you feel it. You feel it in your heart, you feel it in your spirit, you feel it in your mind, you feel it around you. Like I remember there's been times where I would sit there literally in my room and I'd be like, but there's more for me. But because I became so content and I became comfortable in this connector, that I don't want to leave. I don't want to shift it. I don't want to move it, because I am comfortable. I'm content. I have studied it. I know what it's about. I know what to do. And we don't want to change our life around, because we are comfortable with where we are, and we're allowing this connector to take over our lives. And so what do? What are the steps? What are the steps to removing that? It's not easy. Whoever told you guys that change is easy, they lied to you. They lied to you, because it is not easy. Changing who you are from what you have been doing for years, that is the most difficult thing to do in life. For me, I don't know for other people who are sanctified and filled with the Holy Ghost power and was able to do it overnight. God bless you. I commend you. But for me, it took some years. God had to work on me. And it's not easy because you're literally leaving who you knew for years to embrace who God really called you to be. But you really don't want to do it because you have been living like this for years. And those connectors are so strong to where they will have you thinking that this is the life that you are supposed to be living. But see, that's what the enemy do. The enemy allows us to think what he has presented us is what we need to be. And because it comes with so much opportunity in it, if you think about it, people become successful when they give themselves up. And they sell their soul and they give themselves up to the world because the presentation that the enemy gives, you will live lavish. You will have lots of money. You will live in this big home. You'll be driving this. You'll be going this place. Listen, who God has called me to be, that stuff will come in more. He said, I will bless you. I will take you places to where you wouldn't even be able to think. You won't even be able to grasp where I can take you. But because we are in a rush to reach it and we are in a rush to make it, we will take the presentation that the enemy gives us because he presents us everything at once. And where God is like, but if I present everything at once to you, you're going to destroy it because you're not in a place where you can receive every level at once. That's why it's called growth. That's why it's called a process. That's why it says walk with him and he will be able to take you where you need to go. But because we are we're the type of people that like to rush things, and we're the type of people that wants us to just present it to us all at once because we no longer want to struggle. I no longer want to cry at night. I no longer want to get on my knees and pray. I no longer want to take it to God. I'm tired of going to the altar. I'm tired of calling his name. I'm tired of calling this person for help. I'm tired of calling that person for help. I'm tired of having interventions for me. I'm tired of it. But what God is saying is that I need you to experience the process so when you get to where I need you to be, you'll be grateful for what you have. But because we are rushly people and we want to just rush what God has for us, we accept the presentation that the enemy gives us. And because it's so fast, guess what's going to happen? It's going to die fast as well. And so you get blessed with this opportunity that the enemy gives you, but it dies quick. Just as quick as he gave you, that's how quick it go. And so that's one of the things. Trust the process. Trust what God is doing. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. But because we don't want to submit, and because we don't want to give our hearts to him, because we don't want to wait the time frame, and because the enemy is like, but I can give it to you at this very moment, we accept it. But that's what connectors do. Connectors change your thought process to where it is, you need to get this now. I know you're tired with dealing with this, so accept this now. The connectors tank your mindset. It tanks but that's why I say your connectors are now your creators, because it literally controls your life. Depression controls your life. Anxiety controls your life. It makes you thinking that this is the way that you're supposed to think. It makes you thinking that this is the way you're supposed to live your life. It makes you think that this is the way that you are supposed to interact with people, how to gain a career, where you're supposed to be. It tells you to be stuck. It tells you that it is okay to be stuck. It is okay to live your life in this thing. You're stuck. You are stuck in this connector. And so what do you do? What do you do? For me, I literally had to cold turkey everything. Cut it off. I had to cut it off. I had to remove it all. And I literally had to allow God to become the center of my life. And I had to allow him to teach me and allow him to guide me. And I had to walk with him. And again, you guys, whoever told y'all that the process is easy, it is not easy, because there's going to be times where you're walking with God and you're holding his hand and you're just going to let it go. Because the process, I struggled for too long. I'm losing everything at this minute, because now me walking with you, I am losing X, Y, and Z. Me walking with you, I no longer have the amount of money I used to have. Me walking with you, I no longer have the amount of people that I used to have. Me walking with you, I'm no longer living in the space that I used to live in. Me walking with you, I've lost every material thing that I've had. Me walking with you, I lost people who was giving me money because I am walking with this person and I'm losing everything. But God is saying, if you remain walking with me, I promise what you have and what I got for you, you'll be like, yo, what I did have, that don't even compare to what you do have for me. But because we get tired of walking with God and we become weary and we become broken and we get stuck in the whole image of everything that's going on, and we look at what we have lost and not what we're about to gain, that we're about to gain ultimate joy, we're about to gain ultimate peace, we're about peace that surpasses understanding. That's where I want to be, to where nothing disturbs me, nothing moves me, because I'm in a place with God where I remain peaceful. Yes, this situation has happened, but my peace overpowers it. But we allow our connectors to connect with our life and become our creator, so we're no longer able to activate that peace because this connector is taking over our life. Depression is taking over your life. Anxiety is taking over your life. Suicidal thoughts is taking over your life. Obesity is taking over your life. Identity loss is taking over your life. And we allow these connectors to tank our vision and what God has for us because we want to rush into the opportunity too fast. Where God says, be still and know that I am God, for he knows the plans that he has over you. He said, walk with me, hold my hand. I want to guide you. I want to order my steps. Follow me, and I will take you to where you need to be. But because we are rushly people and we want to just take the opportunity right off the bat because it comes with everything, not everything needs to come to you at once because you're not going to know how to handle it. You have to become delicate with certain opportunities, gentle with certain with different opportunities. That's why God doesn't just drop every blessing over your life. If he did, we will be going crazy in this world because we don't have every tool. We don't have the tool for this opportunity. We don't have the tool for this blessing. We may have the tool for this, but we don't have the tool for that. And so you have to go through a process. You have to go through steps. You have to walk with him. Psalms 32:8 said, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Meaning he will guide you. He will teach you. He will lead the way. But you got to walk with him. You got to trust him. You have to let him know that, okay, I take the risk of losing everything that I did have just so that I could win for myself. And you got to get to a space where you want better for yourself. And that's what the win for myself means. I want better. I want more. I want to accomplish something. I want to leave a legacy for my children. I want to be a better me. I no longer want to be stuck in sin, but I want to be stuck in you. And so that's what we need to be. We need to get back into that space, and you need to want more for yourself. So if I want more for myself, I no longer could do this very thing. I can no longer be in this environment. I can no longer accept what the world gives me. So I push this back and I lose everything. If it means someone spreading rumors about me, speaking lies on my name, dragging my name through the dirt. Listen, they did it to Jesus. Jesus carried the cross and it was still spitting on him and beating on him. And even when they nailed him to the cross, he looked up and said, for they know not what they do, please forgive them. So you can do it to me. Because my father went through it. You can drag I'll take the risk of people spreading lies about me. I'll take the risk of people saying this about me, people saying that about me, me losing this, X, Y, and Z. I'll take the risk of it all just so that I could win for myself. But I know that at the end, I will remain victorious. So remember that I will instruct you and teach you in the way that you should go. He will instruct you and he will teach you the way that you should go. But you just got to remain connected to him and lose those connectors that's on your life. So it's literally making that living sacrifice. You are a living sacrifice. God, I open myself unto you and I present myself as a living sacrifice so that you can live in me and I lose everything. I would take the risk. I would take the risk. So what do you do? What do? You take the risk. I will take the risk. If you want more, you tell yourself, I'll take the risk. If you want change, you tell yourself, I'll take the risk. If you no longer want to be connected to the thing that is draining your mindset, I'll take that risk. So I will take the risk. I will lose it all just so that I could win for myself. I can win. And then the crazy thing is, you see other people around you winning. And you wondering why you stuck. Why haven't you elevated to the next level? How did this person get this opportunity before me? That's because God has something on your life that you are supposed to be activating. He knows who he has called you to be, and there's more inside of you. And so what I need you to do, I need you to lose it all. I need you to take that risk and trust me that I'm able to do what I said I'm able to do. God is still the God, the same God who raised Lazarus from the dead. He is still the God who gave sight to a blind man. He is the same God. The same God, and you have to trust him in the process. Trust him in the process. So what do? You risk it all. I don't care. I do not care. I do not care. But I'm going to risk it all to win for myself. If I want better for myself, I'm going to risk it. If that means losing you, I'm going to risk it. If that means me losing this relationship, I'ma risk it. If that means me parting ways from this very thing, from either drugs, it could be alcohol, it could be sex, it could be pornography, it could be all these different outlets. If it means me risking it all so that I can win for myself and I can set a path that not only I can walk down, but my kids can walk down as well, I will risk it all. Want better and more for yourself, because that's what God wants you to be. No longer allow your connector to be your creator. You don't want to get to a point where God no longer physically know who you are, because you change your physical appearance, because you allowed your connector now to change what God has created. So now the image of who you are is no longer who you are, because you have allowed your connector to be your creator. Change it. I'll risk it all. I'll risk it all. I'll risk it all. So I don't want this video to be long, but y'all, this series, it's just crazy. It's crazy because if you want better, you have to risk it. And risking it means losing it all. I'm no longer going to allow my connector to change my destiny into death. Meaning that my vision, my purpose is no longer alive, because I have allowed my connector to become my creator. So we speak against that now. And you know what I want to just do real quick, just to kind of close this out. I want to set a prayer. I want to say a prayer before you. And what we're about to do is we're going to speak it into existence right now, that we're walking into our purpose, we're walking into our calling, and we remove anything that is not like God. Depression, you no longer are my connector. Anxiety, you're no longer my connector. Pornography, you're no longer my connector. Suicidal thoughts, you're no longer my connector. Robbery, you're no longer my connector. Confusion, you're no longer my connector. Identity loss, you're no longer my connector. And I risk it all on today. God, I make myself a living sacrifice unto you, to where you can step into my life and you can dwell where I am at, oh God. God, that I open myself up to you, and I will take the chance of losing it all so that I can be where you are. And we got to get back to that space where we allow God to become our operator, and he's just not sitting in the waiting room, but he is doing the work in us. If you want better, you need to ask for better. If you want more, you need to ask for more. If you need help, he said, look unto the hills which your help coming from. And that's where you need to look unto. No longer look into the world that feeds you fleshly desires, but we step into the will of God that will direct us into our future and direct us into our path. If I have to lose it all to win for myself, I will. If I have to take the risk that I need, I will take the risk, because God is my creator, and that's where I want to be. So we take that risk on today, and that's what you need to do. You need to make yourself a living sacrifice, and you need to say, I will no longer allow my connector to change my destiny into death. If I have to risk it, I will. If I have to take the chance, I will. If I have to lose everything to win for myself, I will. And I challenge y'all on that today, that when you step into this new week, that will be the mindset that you will be. That will be the space that you will be at. If I have to risk it all, I will. If I have to take the chance, I will. If I have to lose it all to win for myself, I will. Whew, my God, my God, my God. If I have to lose it all, I will. Just to win for myself. So thank you guys. I love you guys. I truly, truly love you guys. Thank you guys for following me and supporting me. I pray that this word was a blessing in your life. I pray that it encouraged you and motivated you to do better, to do more for yourself and want more for yourself. Listen, you're worthy enough. You are worthy enough. You are a king's kid. You are a desirable vessel in the kingdom of God. So you have to treat yourself as such. You have to walk with your head up high and with confidence that you are a king's kid. I love you guys. Thank you. And Josh is out.